This is a mega building, you know, a building that's, well, mega. It's no secret that Cyberpunk 2077 was the source of much controversy, particularly surrounding cut content, and, well, these buildings do absolutely tie into it. And because there are 12 of these buildings, and not all of them are interesting, not all of them have secrets as such, I thought I'd combine some oddities and strange things which I found in Cyberpunk's Megabuildings. This is of course being done using the no-clip mod, which allows me to go to usually inaccessible locations, and as a result of this, there's some really interesting things which I want to show you. As always guys, before we get into today's video, it would be really great if you would consider subscribing, especially if you like this kind of content. So starting off with Megabuilding number 7. This building does not actually exist in Cyberpunk 2077, and let me show you why. So upon approaching this building, you are presented with a typical entrance. You even have some gang members that spawn outside. You have a NCPD robot guarding a corner shop. But as you walk up to the entrance, you will notice that the shutters are completely closed. So this is for the main entrance and also for the garage as well. So let's clip behind Megabuilding 7 and check it out. So after walking through an inaccessible area, you can see that we have spawning NPCs, and these are dotted around in an area which does not exist. They are all positioned in reasonably sensible areas, as in places which would align with other mega building interiors. For example, this lovely man right here is likely behind a food stall. He is likely one of the inaccessible vendors, but here you can see another food vendor. This is the pose which a lot of them adopt, and even someone sitting down on nothing. Again, presumably a food stall. Home sweet home. Here's Mega Building number 10. There's a lot of stuff in this place, but I think that would be best suited for its own video. There is, however, one very interesting part of V's Mega Building. Right below your apartment is an area of the building which is fenced off. So naturally we clip behind and we can see that there is a vending machine which works perfectly. And if you follow this corridor a little bit further down, you will see another closed off area. We can clip behind this and we have just empty apartments, and no, there isn't anything behind these rooms, but this is a cute little corner of the world. Anyway, if we pop out of this little area and continue walking, we can see that this place is big. This is huge. This is an entire corridor which is completely unused and stretches on for probably further than it should do. And just to show you, there is nothing behind these rooms, but it still interests me greatly. Moving on, the elevator used to get into this building comes from this area right about here, and it stops outside of the Second Amendment gun shop. However, you have probably noticed that there is another very similar elevator right outside of these apartments. So this lift is completely inaccessible. If we were to clip inside of this elevator, we can see that there is a panel which works. However, it is of course off, considering that this is not accessible. However, we have a little mod called Open Night City, and we can actually open this terminal. And as you can tell, there is services and an entrance. So if we were to click on entrance, we can see that this elevator does indeed move. It works perfectly. It does clip a little bit, but we can see that it lands on the ground floor. The doors open. These gates are also open as well. And look, this is the market area of these mega building. This place is entirely inaccessible. So it's pretty evident, especially as well when you look at the old E3 gameplay trailers where this lift is moving, that this marketplace was intended to be in the game. Mega Building 8 is actually accessible, and this is a location which features Clouds, a nightclub which is used in a lot of side missions, gigs, even I think a part of the main story, and you can tell this place is detailed and has absolutely been planned to death. Aesthetically, this place is goddamn beautiful. So what we're gonna do is call the elevator as per usual. So walking up to this elevator panel, we can see some floors which are usually inaccessible. However, if we were to unlock this panel, just like we did in Megabuilding number 10, we can see that not only are these rooms now accessible, but there's also a missing 4th floor. So we can click this and see where it goes. You will see that it just opens up in the middle of nowhere, as if there was perhaps something here, or perhaps this was just testing on CDPR's level. Also featured in Megabuilding number 8 is, of course, clouds. This is a completely accessible location, even without noclip, but similar to Megabuilding number 10, we have another inaccessible elevator. So if you fly into this lift and turn off noclip, you can see that we're presented with a similar situation to Megabuilding number 10. And if we unlock this terminal, we can see that there is level 21 market and level 42 apartments. And we can go to this location, or, well, we can witness the elevator go to the location. And again, just like Megabuilding number 10, it all works perfectly. Here we are at Megabuilding number 2. So if you rock up to the entrance of Megabuilding 2 and head towards where the garage in other Megabuildings usually sits, you can tell that it's actually open, and you can walk all the way down here to a very strange area. This area holds no real purpose. It has no loot, it has no missions. Hell, I'd even say it has no ambience. To me, the copied and pasted doors, perfectly symmetrical with very few NPCs, very basic lighting, and just a general feeling of last minute, says to me that this was a very, very late change. And you may be thinking, damn mate, what's behind these doors? Well look, I'm going to be honest with you, there's nothing. Well, there's maybe something, there's a floor, but there are no secret rooms, there's no secret areas. How this ties with the Megabuilding, I have no idea. And to me at least, it looks very, very fucking strange. Interestingly as well, at the bottom of this Megabuilding, there is some kind of underground pathway with lifts that are, you know, inaccessible, but perhaps tied into something a lot bigger when Megabuildings had more depth to them. One thing to note as well is this smash screen, which to me at least looks like the one that was used in the E3 gameplay trailer, where CDPR showed off that ads in Cyberpunk would be tailored to the player, so maybe this was repurposed. I don't know. And finally, we are joined at Megabuilding 1-2. This Megabuilding does actually exist, well, not entirely, but is completely inaccessible with these N-cart style turnstiles. But of course, if you pop through here, you can gauge just how much of this interior does exist. The lifts have been gutted, there are no panels, there's nothing to work with here, but there is, however, a very small corridor that goes behind the lifts, and what this does, or why this is here, is absolutely anyone's guess. So in other Megabuildings, you will notice that this area is usually accessible. I mean, not in terms of gameplay, but it's open up. And as you can tell, the similar kind of layout from other accessible Megabuildings does exist, as in the elevators, which are there, but of course not functional. But interestingly, right on the end, we have an open door, a door which you can walk through, but ultimately leads to nowhere. But if you want to go full speculation-a-thon, and for 1 minute assume that this was maybe supposed to be something, and follow the logical route of this, then you can actually work out that it does somewhat align with an elevator shaft. As you can tell, this elevator shaft stops existing right about here, and goes up to pretty much the top of the building. You may be thinking, Dan mate, you're clutching at straws. You know, this is copied and pasted from the other ones. What does that mean? What does that mean? But if you were to follow this down, and let's say the pipes were also the elevator shaft, because, you know, mostly the same place, you can tell that it kind of aligns with this non-existent half-finished hallway. So I don't know. But regardless, I think this is quite an interesting one. So there you have it. Those are some oddities and secrets which I have found in Megabuildings across my time no-clipping through Night City. Hope this was interesting, guys, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, please do feel free to leave a like on it, and as always, I'll catch you lot in a bit.